Warm welcome to everyone, and as it has been already said, we are going to discuss the role of young generation. And before we deep dive into a very interesting discussion, I would really like to invite Dr. Pedro Lopes to give his presentation or his opening words to this fruitful discussion. Please, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Ladeja. I hope everyone is good in the beautiful country of Slovenia. I would like to say thank you for the invitation to be part of this important panel. I also would like to address greetings to everyone that is participating in the panel, and thank you, CECOLAB, for this invitation. Well, I'm from Cabo Verde, small country in West Africa. I think it's important as well to position the relationship between Africa and Europe, and I would like to speak a bit what is the role of young people in Africa in terms of circular economy, but also speak about Cabo Verde. As you know, ICT is one of the main pillars of circular economy in Africa, but also everywhere in the world. When we speak about circular economy for youth, we need to promote, engage, connect, and also empowering more young people around circular economy. We need to start empowering young people to be ready to deal with the dangers to the environment and also to climate change. And we can do that through local forums and action plans, exchange of information and best practices, also short training programs, including informal learning and activity-based learning, and also open educational resources, mobile application, and other means. I believe that more than defining policies, we need to involve young people in the implementation of public policies, but also make them make money with it. That's very, very important. When I say that, I'm talking about startups that can be very important to make sure that circular economy is really working. So more than a politician's will to have this importance of circular economy as a new paradigm for European Union reality, but also for Africa, we need to have young people involved in the implementation of it. Here in Cabo Verde, we have startups that are doing it. Just this week, I visited a startup that they are recycling plastic, and they are transforming wastes with their 3D printing machines. And plastic waste is one of the challenges of the continent of Africa. Here, we believe that the priority sectors for the circular economy transition in Africa will be agri-food, construction, electronics and ICT, as I mentioned before, plastics and packaging, and those will be sectors that will be important. We have the social problems in the continent. Also, some of the problems of the continent, one of the major ones will be a growing problem of the plastic waste pollution. And if we think about projected high population growth for Africa, combined with increasing levels of economic well-being, will create a vast increase in demand for natural resources. So as such, the circular economy will not only be an economic opportunity, but also a necessary strategic paradigm for economic development that can foster sustainable economic development while decoupling it from resources consumption and negative environment impacts. So I think it's important that young people also can be ready for the dialogue between continents. circular economy, when we think about circular economy, the main goal is to protect the environment. And now more than ever, we have challenges that are global. So I think that we have to act local to have a global impact. We are living in a new era. COVID-19 shows us that we're going to have more and more global challenges that we need to address them together, and we need to involve the continent. And we need also to see that in this dialogue of Africa and the European Union, things, I think they need to change a bit. There are a lot of interdependencies between Europe and Africa. And the African continent is the European Union fourth trading partner when it comes to exports, and the third when it comes to imports. So the transition to a circular economy, both in European Union as well in Africa, will have large implications for the trade flows and also the interactions between the two continents and between young people. However, I believe there is a lack of knowledge at European institutions with regard to the current status of circular economy development in Africa. But finally, the topic, like we're having this opportunity today, is just starting to be a priority in the cooperation initiatives and programs between the two continents, and also between young people in Africa and in Europe. We have a long shared history of interdependence, and that is reflected in the vast trade relations between us. We have existing challenges such as climate change and also the energy transition and the efforts needed to move human activities back within the planetary boundaries, while at the same time improving the livelihoods of a large group of people. Makes an intricate and close cooperation between continents of Africa and European Union even more important. With the publication of European Union Green Deal, including a new circular economy action plan, the European Union showed that they are reinforcing their ambitions to transform its economy from the existing linear make, use, dispose model into a circular one. So this Green Deal also emphasizes the importance of international cooperation. And that's why I think that is important more than ever to involve young people in implementing what is being discussed at high-level roundtables between politicians. And Africa will have an important role for it. So those are my remarks between a relationship of European Union and Africa in terms of circular economy, but also young people here in Cabo Verde. We are betting a lot on ICT. I have the pleasure to serve my people as Secretary of State for Innovation and also the areas of technical training. We are investing on a tech park in Cabo Verde, not to serve the country, but to serve the entire region of West Africa. And we'll have a lot of opportunities for circular economy to be developed here in Cabo Verde to serve our region. Of course, we will need the cooperation of European Union. And we are in 3 hours and a half, you are in Cabo Verde. In 3 hours and a half, you are in Europe. And we are 1 hour away from Senegal as well in the continent, because we are islands on the off coast of West Africa, but also we are the closest African country to US. So this crosswalk between continents can be important and a base as well for cooperation for different initiatives. We are making big efforts here in my country for energetic transition. Now we are running with almost 40% of renewable energy, but our goal in 15 years is to go up to 80%. And we believe that is really important. And we want to be a base as well for circular economy in West Africa, a platform that can give knowledge and share knowledge to countries in West Africa in dialogue with the European Union and also United States and other countries. So I believe in this new wave of circular economy, size of the countries will not be that important anymore. Also, the way that we use young people to be actors of circular economy and to be able as well to bring this tendency of circular economy to companies that have a more traditional approach will be very important, and also to pressure policymakers. I think that is important, and the role of young people as well is they know that we need to protect the environment, but also economy needs to be protected. So we need to protect the economy, but also people will need to protect their well-being, and that's through economy. So I think we are entering a new phase where young people will have a very, very important role. Also, we will have challenges that is developing circular economy at different stages, because sometimes we are very Eurocentric in our approach, and we need to know that different continents have different stages of development, and they need as well to bring to give opportunities for people in their countries. So I think it's a new opportunity for everyone. Also, with COVID-19, people start to be more open to new challenges of the world, and we have this global approach. And I think that will be fundamental for the future. But sometimes politicians talk too much, and so I think it's also important to give the table to young people, because I'm also young, but to young people that are working on NGOs and in different fields, because they are the ones that will give recommendations to politicians, and we need to hear more to change things, and also we need to act more fast, because the planet will not wait for our resolutions, and I think that's important. We need to move more fast and learn more with young people. So warm regards from Cabo Verde. If you want to develop technology and innovation in collaboration with African people, American people, Europe, here we want to welcome your ideas. Also, people that want to be part of a circular economy to serve different continents and have Cabo Verde as a platform, we want to welcome your ideas. And thank you very much for this amazing opportunity.
Thank you very much, Pedro Lopes. I guess that this invitation and encouragement is really important. As you nicely pointed, it is also important that we understand different cultures, different environments, and that we do not only export the ideas or the concepts from Europe to Africa, but vice versa as well, to be able to hear what you have to say, what you have learned, and then jointly co-create new knowledge and new business models as well for the prosperous future. I have been asked to share just a few slides about our work of circular change and our role here in the Central and Eastern Europe, as well as on the global level. So I will try to share the screen right now. Okay, I hope it works. Is it okay? Can someone wave? Yeah, okay. Great. So I will I'm inviting you to a very short and brief journey towards what circular change is actually presenting and what we are doing. And in our slogan, we have a special, let's say, message. Hopefully this will work. And this is that we are the best entry point for your circular economy journey. I don't know, something is, yeah. Oh, let's see. Yeah. So why the best entry point? Because as we have heard today, also through the presentation of Janez Potočnik at the very beginning, what is always so inspiring and giving really this big perspective of what circular economy is about, we as a tiny organization cannot give the answers, but we can find right people to connect you with, so that you can create your own circular economy journey and go on. So we have been established in 2016, when a circular economy has been understood as something what refers mainly to the waste management and maybe to some NGOs. And we are a tiny private nonprofit institute, and we have 5 council members, and we are chaired actually by Janez Potočnik, what is really helping us a lot. And particularly at the very beginning, it was important to have the access to knowledge and experiences. And here I'm encouraging others as well who are starting this circular journey to look around who can be a kind of supporter, of mentor for these first steps, because it's not easy to start. And from then on, we are connecting stakeholders from citizens, businesses, governments, and so on. And we are really trying to enable the collaboration between different actors of circular transition, not only on national, but also on the global level. And one of our flagships is the Circular Change International Conference. We started in 2016, and this year we have the 6th anniversary, but it will be a little bit different. And we are connecting, as I said, different stakeholders, but mainly we are nourishing these networks, because this is important, not only to figure out with whom you can collaborate, but since we are human beings, this is based on the relationship, on that, how we treat each other, and it is important that we do it in a sustainable way as well. So as I said, we started in 2016, and here just 2 key milestones to encourage those who are thinking about starting similar platforms. It is really important that you get on the map. So what we did is that we organized the conference, as I told you, but then we were lucky enough to become the member of the European Circular Economy Stakeholder Platform that I'm chairing now for the 3rd mandate. And afterwards, we have been recognized also by the World Economic Forum as the leaders of the circular transition. And one important milestone was also the circular economy roadmap that we created for Slovenia. But at the very beginning, what we did, we opened the discussion, the possibility that people came together, and we were engaging different stakeholders around different topics. Here was one, let's say, open circle discussion around green mobility. And that is how you get to people, you know. It is very bottom-up approach and not top-down. And as I said, with our conference, we started to set the trends, actually. Every year we tackled one of the topics, and last year, here in the middle, you can see that the topic has been mainstreaming the circular economy mindset, because it's so important that we are aligned on the values, on the ambitions, and also on the concerns we have. And the roadmaps, as you have heard already in the presentation by Janez Potočnik, and it has been discussed in the previous panel as well, that we need a kind of guidelines, or that we need to navigate through this circular transition. And this, let's say, national roadmaps are a great tool. And we did one for Slovenia, and then for Serbia, and for Chile as well. It is just now in the final stage of being confirmed, and we are collaborating with other countries like Montenegro and Serbia and so on. And as I said, we have been recognized also by international associations. And this is important because, not because of the recognition, but because of the access to other players and other contributors to this circular transition. And that's what I always say, whenever you get the opportunity to step on the stage, as you are youngsters today, use it to spread your network, to connect with those who can contribute to the development of your ideas, of your vision. And I'm inviting you also to check, it has been already mentioned in the chat box, how Circular Economy Platform in Brussels can enable your activities and contribute to your success. We are really a network of networks, so please check. This event has been announced as well, and you can find a lot of partners, good practices, initiatives there. What we do, as I said, this is global story, and we are really connecting the dots around the globe from Japan to Norway, Israel. And it is so nice to see how these circular economy initiatives or networks are popping up around the globe. And we are encouraging within Circular Change young people, and we created two, let's say, opening or two doors where you can enter. One is Faces Behind the Circular Scene. We are publishing videos with short messages, who you are, what you do, why you belong to this circular community, what you have to share. And the other is that we have a kind of Circular Change crew. So young people who are willing to contribute, to collaborate, we are inviting them as well and including them into some of our activities. And as I said, this year, when Slovenia is taking the EU Council presidency right after the Portugal, we are presenting a special edition of Circular Insider. That is the publication. And as at the opening, it has been said that we need a kind of atlas of good practices of frontrunners. That is exactly what we are doing, emphasizing the interconnectivity between circular change, circular culture, and circular economy. So all these aspects are going to be introduced in a very lifestyle way, because we believe that this new narrative that circular economy is not something what politicians are discussing about, but actually something what is lived on the ground is essential. We will create this kind of stories with our partners, and you will see what the publication will bring. Now, to conclude with the message for our discussion, as Mr. Pedro Lopes said, circular economy should also bring money. It is not only about nice ideas and dreaming, but it is also about how to survive, how to create businesses that enable you to live a good life. And as we can see from recent research, young people are very infected by COVID and seriously concerned about their income. So about the financial opportunities they have on the market in this, let's say, still COVID, not post-COVID life. But on the other hand, your generation, so Generation Z, you are the one who is creating the future, and you also have the spending power in your hands. So this is also the other part of the same story. So you are very powerful, and on the other hand, you're the one who is creating the future. And this discussion will go in the direction of intergenerational dialogue. And I like to use this quote, like, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing, by George Bernard Shaw. So I really invite you now to create this playground where we can play together and jointly nourish our circular networks. So thank you very much for your patience, and I hope that you got some ideas how to navigate in this on this circular playground. And now we will start with our discussion. And the first question for our three outstanding, young, brave, innovative, creative ladies is: what was your entry point into this world of circular economy? So maybe to start with you, Beatriz, since you are here in Slovenia now as well, if you can share with us how come that circular economy became the epicenter of your interest?
So to start with, hello everybody, bom dia, dober dan, to everyone who is attending this session today. So thank you, Ladeja and Pedro, for the introduction. As mentioned, my name is Beatriz Ildefonso. I'm from Lisbon, right now speaking from Ljubljana. And also to start with, I would like to thank as well CECOLAB for inviting me to participate in this session. I think it's a great initiative from their side to have a panel focused on youth, and above that also as well only with women. So congratulations on managing to do that. And so to answer your question, I am not particularly focused on circular economy in the sense that my background is in energy. So I did my master's in energy and environmental engineering in Lisbon. I finished my master's in 2018, and since then I have had a few professional experiences, and all of them in the clean energy sector. Just to enumerate, I started with an internship in a research institute of the European Commission in the knowledge management unit for energy, followed by an internship at Solar Power Europe, which is the association that represents the European solar industry. And I'm currently, as mentioned, a researcher at the Laboratory of Energy Policy in Ljubljana since November of last year. But in fact, there is, I think I was invited for this panel because there is, in fact, a lot of correlation between the process that is happening right now when that affects circular economy and what is happening for energy, so the energy transition. So they're both sectors that are having a big changes, and indeed it's important to pay attention to the role of young people in it. So of course, that's, as mentioned, beyond my professional engagements with this sector. I'm also personally very passionate about this, and that's why I joined already 1.5 years ago or so Yes Europe, which is a youth-led NGO active in the energy sector. And I don't want to extend myself too much on this point right now, but I can say that this experience as a, let's say, youth activist for the environment has been a great form of self-expression in a way, particularly these last months of lockdown and very limited social contacts and way too much time spent in front of the computer and with meaningless things. It is really a great way to meet people and to engage with people all over Europe that have the same values as me in terms of sustainability and a future that is more green, let's put it like that, and to know that at least some of the time that I'm spending in front of the computer is used for something good.
May I interrupt you at this point? Sorry, because it's so interesting what you said now. Yes, we are all tired of that and looking forward to meet each other. But what is your joint, let's say, aspiration within this network of young leaders in energy and sustainability? Can you share that with us? So what is keeping you awake?
Sure. I can definitely talk a bit more about that. So in the end, I think it's the same for me as for my colleagues. We are all there because we feel like we are motivated to do something. And sometimes we feel like we don't have enough power in our hands to act. Decisions are being made for us, and we see that things are not going in the right direction. And we feel like now is the time to really take action and take responsibility for the course of let's say, energy system. But this applies to other sectors as well. And we have the time and we have the energy, which maybe is something that older generations cannot say. We have a lot more energy, we have a lot more new skills, and we're very well connected and educated. And so I think this is a big part of why I'm there.
Yeah, great to hear that. And I hope that those who are attending this great event are making notes. So where to find you, how to contact you, and to get engaged into your activities. And I will jump now to Débora, another one super educated young woman who took the destiny in her hands and started her own business. So Débora, can you tell us something more about your background and about your journey towards where you are right now?
Yes. Hi, good morning to everyone. First of all, thank you for this invitation to be participating in this very good call and sharing this place with all these incredible women also, and Pedro and this moment. Yes, I start my background on scientific field. I started with a degree in microbiology, later on a master on applied microbiology, and I started to be a researcher and to be at the lab developing products with bioactivities. At that moment, this was around 2011. I had the opportunity to be part of a national project to develop nanoparticles. I was liking a lot. I was like of my path on nanotechnology. And then came the opportunity to do a PhD on waste valorization and developing new strategies to implement new technologies at the market. And at that time, I was not so sure about that area of PhD because it was something that doesn't call my attention so much. But my professor told me that, well, this is a good area. This is start to rising right now in the world, and the science should have an important paper on this. And I applied to the PhD. I get the grant, and the topic of the PhD, which was in biotechnology and food engineering, it was to valorize pineapple waste from industry and develop green technologies to be suitable alternatives to the ones that were in the market. So during that 4 years of PhD, I was focused on developing green technologies and try to find the market for these technologies. And then in 2015, more or less, I developed the green technology, which intended the green separation of enzymes from raw materials and from complex mixtures. And then also in 2016, I had the opportunity to participate in an event like this, but presential, which was organized by the Portuguese government and also COTEC, which is an entrepreneur and transfer knowledge association in Portugal. And it was the first time that I heard circular economy. And I went there as a student. I went there to see what was happening. But at that moment, wake me up for this reality that my PhD was included on. And I heard from the players of the Portuguese market, from the industries, from the science field, from education, for everyone that would be the next trend, and everyone had to start to address this situation, and also the policy should start to change to enable all that changes. So that was the moment that opened my eyes to this circular economy subject.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And it is good to hear that here are those aha moments in life when we say something turned my wheel into another direction. And maybe just a brief reflection on that. So on one side, you are a scientist with PhD, but with strong sense for the market. What would be your message to young people? Because within, let's say, my circular community, more and more young people are coming to me saying, yeah, it is great to be on the side of the science, but it's so much more exciting to do something and to implement those the knowledge also in real solutions. So how do you feel about that?
It's difficult. Okay, the aha moment happens, but it's difficult to pass from that to create a startup or create an idea. When I started, for me it was very difficult because I did not find the right places or people to mentor me and to help me with that, because it was starting. Everyone was starting on that area, but I think you must believe that you can do it, and the project is the resilience from each person. And you have to be that pain, that person that goes to everyone. Okay, and please, I need help on this, I need help on that, or financial support, or several steps. In my personal history, I had the opportunity later on to be financial supported by the AT Climate Kick and AT Food, which were international agencies that were helping the entrepreneurism and the changing of the mindset of scientists. So that was a support for me. But I'm not sure if I answer to your question.
Great. Yes, because it is good, that we exchange these experiences. It is not always an easy thing to do. When people are observing that, they say, "Oh, it is so nice. She's an entrepreneur," or "Oh, how great she got this award," and so on and so on. But behind the scene, a lot is happening. And now I would like to switch at this point to Alondra, because you mentioned now already how important it is to have a kind of mentors and support. But we would like to hear now also how it is to share knowledge on circular economy, because this is what Alondra is working on, actually, on sharing or organizing new models of education on environmental topics and sustainability and waste management. So please, Alondra, your story.
Hello. First, thank you for the invitation and for creating this space made for conversation. I am an industrial engineer, and I founded the company Géstion Verde, which translates to green management. It is a service company that is dedicated to integral management of waste in Valparaiso region, the second most populated in the country, right after the capital region. And the main service we offer is home service recycling, in which a family gathers and classifies their waste. Then they contact us, and with that, we take care of transporting this element to the final revaluation. It is important to mention that all the waste we receive is taken to local foundations and SMEs. That way, with this waste management, we are not only helping the environment, but also different social causes. I think it is essential to carry a business model that focuses on the care and protection of the environment, and that can also benefit society, not only having as main goal economical purposes. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to manage so much variety of waste as we do. Last year, we participated in the CREA contest, and as a result, we won a private fund for Géstion Verde. Thanks to that, we were able to increase our transportation capacity, incorporate more people to the team, and expand service coverage areas. Nowadays, we are currently in the middle of negotiation to be able to expand our service to the southern part of the country, because it is known for being a zone file with nature and protected areas, and because currently it is hard for the people to recycle over there, but they are very interested in doing so.
Thank you very much. And what you pointed in your presentation was actually that both dimensions are very important. So economical one and societal one. And we should not forget that, because at the end of the day, it is really about our well-being, about not leaving anyone behind. And when we talk about waste management, sometimes we forget that there are people who live out of that they're collecting waste in the way they do that. And when they hear that there are new solutions coming, they might think, oh, I'm going to lose my kind of income. So thank you very much for that. And while we have been working on the roadmap for Chile, we were trying with the Euro-Chile team to do our best to integrate young people and other stakeholders, of course, into that process. Maybe a short reflection on that. How do you feel that in Chile, for example, are you as a young generation I wouldn't say treated, but engaged enough? Or do you see that there is still potential that you would contribute more to this, let's say, circular transition? So what is the role of the young generation in Chile?
Well, for this question, will help me Francisco. Lo voy a decir en español.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, but it is good that because we have the opportunity to ask you, so I'm sure that Francisco will support you with the translation.
Sure. Before Alondra talks, does everybody hear me? Yes?
Yes, everything is okay.
Great.
Ya, para mí aún queda mucho por hacer. Los jóvenes no estamos tan involucrados como podríamos y yo creo que hay que partir transmitiendo el mensaje para motivar a otros a que se sumen y que puedan hacer cosas por el planeta y también por las causas sociales, porque como tú bien decías, todo va de la mano.
Alondra says that there's a lot of things to do still, especially for us, the young people, and there's a lot of work to do and inspiring young people and doing so much about the environmental cause. Like that would be like the general idea, she said.
Thank you very much for this answer. And we will continue with that kind of intergenerational collaboration, because that is needed. Young people, you are bringing new ideas, energy, persistence. And I will jump now to Beatriz directly, because you explained that that this is embedded somehow also in the culture of the work that you do and with your NGO and so on. So where do you see the missing link, to say so, between, let's say, older generation and young generation? Because only together we can contribute to the solutions that are so much needed.
Yes, so that's a very good point. And although I'm by no means an expert in these in all of this intergenerational exchange, I do recognize that it's very, very important. And I do see that these days in particular, I feel like there's a lot to be said about it, because we are in a transition period, as I mentioned initially, and not only when it comes to the sustainability and digitalization priorities that we're facing right now, but also because of the COVID pandemic, we have entire sectors that need to be rethink, because we need to rethink the way that we operate, and of course that we will need a lot of fresh ideas and new ways of thinking and new skills, new technologies. And just for the sake of discussion, we can assume here that this would be brought by the younger generation. But the reality is that the younger generation isn't starting with a white canvas. So the young generation will come and act on an already existing system that has a lot of limitations and challenges. And this is something that I see in the energy sector. I mean, that's my experience. So I can just to give a particular example, I see a lot of, let's say, new business models that are trying to be created, and with new services and technologies. And these are normally even young people that are trying to access the markets, and they think that, okay, wow, the energy system right now, it's so old school and so limited, and we are here to change it completely. But the thing is that sooner or later, when they try to implement their ideas, they realize eventually the problems that exist, the limitations. And I mean, limitations in terms of, we can think infrastructure, in terms of policies, in terms of citizen engagement, which is also a big, important part of changing things. And I'm talking about the energy sector, but I'm sure this can be applied to circular economy, as the example of Débora, actually, and Alondra, of course. So when it comes, going back to the question, I think that's there is a need here for cooperation in terms of the generations that are here. So the younger generation and the older generations, there needs to be a cooperation and a mix of these skills, so that young people, when they have the opportunity to act and implement new business models or change policies, they know, they bring these new perspectives, but they also know from the mentorship, like the example that Débora was giving, that's lacked and that maybe hampered her development of her project. There needs to be this mentorship, so that when we act, when we are at the table with the decision makers, we can have a full picture of what is the reality of the situation, and we're not just seen as super positive and not unrealistic, let's say.
Yeah, may I use one metaphor here, because you are so nicely describing this whole process and all the day-to-day and always when we talk about circular economy and green transition, we are talking about this systemic approach. We are talking about radical collaboration. But is it a kind of the metaphor, as I said, like falling in love? You know, we are talking about, oh, young people, you are so great, so fantastic, and so on. But then when we start collaborating, maybe we become, I don't know, we are surprised or we feel this like a threat or something like that. It is not so romantic anymore when it comes into practice. Is that your experience as well, that it is the difference like between falling in love and being in love?
No, I don't think so. From my experience, and again, I can speak as well for the example of Yes Europe. We do have an extreme amount of motivation. It's unbelievable sometimes how willing we are to put in that extra effort to really tackle the challenges. So that's the good point. But indeed, sometimes it can be a bit demotivating to when we go out of school or university, because there we maybe learn the general things, but when we go really into the work environment and we start facing the real challenges of the systems that we have so far, it can be a bit moment where we realize that it's not as positive as we maybe thought initially.
Yeah, but we are all learning. So it is on both sides, I guess. It doesn't matter
Exactly.
how old you are. It is an ongoing process, yes. And to Débora, another, let's say, buzzword is this gender equality. And you as a woman and your career is really amazing. So have you ever felt that there is a difference between men world and woman world? So what would you say? When, and particularly in this, in the world of science and innovation and so on, what does it mean being a woman? Is this something special?
Yes, I believe so. I always had the fortune to work in the science field, mainly with women that are in power, that are powered and are helping every girl, let's say, to believe in themselves. But in science, I never felt so much that difference on gender, but I felt it a little bit on entrepreneurism. I saw a big difference when I was participating in that kind of programs of business development and acceleration. There was like 20% of women and 80% of men, but I never felt diminished by that or... No, the main idea was always to promote the woman in that field, and I always get very good feedback from the networking that I was gathering of how good I was, and that my path as scientist entrepreneur to be a good example to promote other women to do the same and to inspire. And that is my feedback on that area. But I felt regarding that part of older and younger generations, this intergenerational knowledge. In my business, I felt a lot of this difference because I'm trying to put a business within a very traditional market and familiar business. And it's very difficult at the beginning for the, per se, my customers to understand the needs that are required to make this change, to make this transition. And I know that we are only making the first steps to, as Beatriz was saying, to have a better world, to have better policies, to have better society in general for people.
Yeah. So it's an ongoing process, as we said, and it is good to stay open-minded and really to see where we can co-create this future and how to implement the knowledge, experiences, and everything what each individual can bring. And now to back to Alondra. How do you see? Because today we also talk a lot about networks, about the importance of networking. So how do you see that the knowledge and experiences can be transferred now? Is there an existing ecosystem within which you see that you can learn, but you can also contribute? Or do you feel that there still has to be, more invested into this kind of networks that are operational on the ground as well?
Francisco, ¿me ayudas de nuevo?
Sí. I'm going to help Alondra. Basically, if I understand the question correctly, it's about if there's enough foundation for her to be able to expand knowledge, or if there's still work to do.
Yes, on one side, foundation, like the financial resources, but on the other as well, the network as such. So is there the whole ecosystem, like finances, knowledge, the willingness to support that through different instruments and so on. So the whole environment, is it ready for entrepreneurs like she is? But also the financial part is important, of course.
Perfecto. Sí, la pregunta es que en tu entorno hay suficiente apoyo, no solamente desde el punto de vista económico, sino como network, sino, o sea, se refiere a
sí,
social, etcétera. ¿Se entiende para dónde va? ¿Sí?
Sí. Yo creo que siendo universitaria puedo acceder a mucho más apoyo que el resto de las personas que se dedican al reciclaje. Creo que en Chile igual es difícil acceder a redes de apoyo, ya sea como contactos o en el punto de vista económico, porque es muy difícil postular y cumplir los requisitos para acceder a los apoyos que nos dan. Creo que si logramos que el gobierno o la gente en general en Chile le tome el peso a la economía circular, al reciclaje y a todo lo que involucra, va a ser más fácil que tengamos apoyo para continuar.
Okay, so Alondra says that as a college student, it's easier for her to obtain some help, because, well, for example, the university offers some how do you call them? It's not tournament. It's not the
some
word.
funds that are supporting students.
Exactly. Yeah. So the university gives that opportunity to different students. If they have a project, for example, they always incentivize social projects, and of course, projects such as Alondra's. So it's a little bit easier for her, but in general, in Chile, it's not so easy. So it's hard in Chile to obtain some help in these kind of areas. It's not so easy. So one second. So yeah, it's difficult to apply, and when you apply, at the end, it's also difficult to receive that support from the government, and the state in general. So Alondra's main message is that the government or the people in general should support the cause, especially, well, we are standing here right now in this circular economy thing. So the government should support everything that's about the environment, so important right now in circular economy. So that would be a change in a systemic level.
Yeah, thank you very much. And maybe if we make a round, let's say the last round around this very question, because we are talking, as I said, about this need for collaboration. We have heard how interconnected different areas are. So the whole transition cannot happen only by one actor or only by one industry, and so on and so on. So this role of networking, and the Professor Kramer from Netherlands, she put it nicely that we have two types of governance. One is the public governance that is more top-down, and on the other hand, we have network governance that goes bottom-up. And I guess that you're all actors in this, both networks in a way, mainly maybe in this area of network governance on the ground. And what is your experience related to that? How easy or how hard is it to find the right partners to make, I wouldn't say only your ideas, but your projects a reality regarding the knowledge, as I said before, regarding the funding, so money, regarding the visibility. We have heard before about the communication, so that it is communicated in the proper way. So what is the status now, and what are you lacking, let's say? So let's go to Beatriz first, and then we will jump to Débora.
Sure. So I'm probably not the best one to talk about how easy it is to access funding right now, because that's just not where I'm most active in. So I'll leave that for the other panelists. However, I can say about how I'm seeing it become a lot more easier to have our ideas come to life as younger generation, let's put it like that. Especially, I think, over the last 2 years, and I think with the movement of the Fridays for Future and so on, I think that there was all the attention is now turning to younger people, and everybody's thinking, okay, you have a lot to say, so let us hear it. What do you propose? And so we have, I think, the attention on us, so that's good. In terms of the collaboration, I think there's still some challenges in putting us on the same level. So when young people want to talk to stakeholders, decision makers, maybe it's still a bit top down, to quote your what you were mentioning. I don't think we are yet at the point where it's levelized, that young people have the same are seen so seriously that everything that is said is taken into consideration. But the fact is that we have something in our that makes us special as a generation, is that we among ourselves are very well connected, and we have this ability to make use of these social medias and these communication platforms that gives us a lot of power in the end. So we're not as dependent as maybe before to be heard. So I don't know, just this can be a lot of power, in the sense that if we see a best practice, let's say in our city, let's say that I'm back in Lisbon, and that I appreciate very much the system of the shared bikes that we have there with the electrical bikes, and it's super cheap and it's great. And I can post about it on my social media, and somebody in another city of Europe will see it and think, why don't I have this in my city? And this is one step closer to them making noise about it in their city and triggering some change and improvements wherever.
Yeah, that is great to hear that you are influencers, but in a very positive way. So with introducing this kind of solutions and spreading this kind of practices, you are actually co-creating this future. And Débora, to you, because you, as you said, you have experienced, the scientific world, the entrepreneurial world, and so on. Where do you see what is still lacking, or what would you as a leader support, or what you would go for?
Could you rephrase, please?
So the question is, since we are talking about the networks and of that, how within these networks we can collaborate and foster the, let's say, the change, and we can move forward much faster if we are capable of radical collaboration. But according to you, what is still lacking? Because all the time, as Janez Potočnik has shown, we have a lot of reports, we have a lot of surveys, everything is there on the table, but in reality, we are still not moving fast enough. So what is this missing link, according to you?
Okay. So in my perspective, I believe that, let's say that this is a shame, not circular yet. So we have the policies makers that are addressing the issue. We already have consumers and these surveys that are guided to consumers to start to create awareness. But I believe the intermediaries in the middle are the ones that might be missing the link. I felt already a need of different purpose on several industries and companies, stakeholders and decision makers, but they are only still in the surface. So the companies with the economical power they have to start addressing more these issues and start to embrace the policies and also the consumers. I have seen that the millennials and Generation Zs are now changing the market. Okay, so this will be a growing demand for them to the industry, but I believe that is missing these links. In my case, specifically, I found the right communication tools to address, in my case, my startup and start to create some awareness. And I had to have a very good knowledge of the market in order to talk with the right people. And now with this work, I start to be invited to be part of some network that is supporting me and giving me credibility. So in my point of view, I believe that is the intermediaries that are not still very included in this equation. But as young people, as people of communication, as Beatriz was saying, we have the means to get to the end. So we can faster get in touch and start to share our ideas and change all the chain to be a full implementation with purpose and with results at the end.
Super encouraging message, and I will use it as the input for our final round, to say so, because unfortunately we have to close this discussion. That is super interesting. And what I would like you is, of course, to inspire others. As we said, it is all about being not only inspired, but also feeling that we are part of the same story, that we are not alone. Because sometimes, particularly now in this COVID situation, you feel so lonesome and with all these ideas and even the will to change the world, but somehow not empowered. So what each of you, if you can share with us, what are you bringing to the table, to say so? What is your key competence that you can share with others to become more successful, to make their dreams come true, to become the players on this global playground? So what is your core competence that you are willing to share with other young or old? And I will start with Alondra, please.
Creo que puedo partir con el transmitir la información que hoy en día falta. Mostrar el aporte que hacemos al medio ambiente con cada acción que tomamos, que la gente tome conciencia del aporte de reciclar, de preferir productos ecológicos, de apoyar a distintas fundaciones o pymes. Y Francisco, ¿puedes traduciendo como
Yeah, Francisco will help us with the translation.
Yeah, I was just writing down, sorry. Yeah, Alondra's answer is that we have to transmit the information to everyone we can. You know, we have to show the level of good actions that the different entrepreneurships, different people are actually making, especially, of course, in regards of the environment, which is such important right now, and to people to be awareness about the ecologic problems that we are suffering right now. So, for example, helping different little SMEs or entrepreneur people that are making ecological things, like ecological products, like recycle-based products from raw material that are recycled, or people who have a more sustainable point of view. So yeah, so that can also incentivize step by step a better, how can I say it, a better management in general for to start growing from little entrepreneurship to big enterprises.
Y además, sé que muchas personas quieren transformarse en agentes de cambio y aportar a distintas causas, pero no lo hacen netamente por temas de información y obstáculos que hay para encontrar instancias en las cuales poder ayudar. Y no todos son capaces de crear su propia instancia. Por ende, deberíamos abrir las puertas a que otros se puedan sumar a las iniciativas que otros están creando en este sentido.
Thank you.
So Alondra says that many people want to be an agent of change, but they don't know how to. They don't have the information. They don't have the like capacity, or at least in the moment, they don't have the capacity. They don't feel capable of making these changes. So that's why it's so important to open the doors of information, to make it more public, to make it more accessible to everyone. And so the point of Alondra, as I see it, is that there's so much wasted potential, and that there's so many people that could help in a way that they don't know how, they don't have the means of getting that information, and that's something we have to change.
Amazing. I think what you touched right now, Alondra, is so important. Wasted potential, wasted human potential. And we talk a lot about different forms of capital, like natural capital, financial capital, but we forget how rich we are in the sense of human capital. So thank you very much for this strong and powerful message. I believe that this is so much needed, really, to show the way not only to the people to do what they can and to fulfill their purpose, but to integrate them into the systems and into this change-making process. Thank you. So powerful. Beatriz, to you, what are you bringing to the table?
So from my side, I mean, first of all, I can only echo what Alondra said. There's little I can add to that. It's exactly what I feel like. It's very important right now to share information, to make sure that we are all at the same level of knowledge and that we can all act knowing what we are facing. Just to put my personal spin on this answer, what I'm doing right now at Yes Europe is to try to tackle this problem of the wasted potential, because what in the end we are is a platform that helps young people that have the motivation to make their ideas come true and have access to more information and initiatives from all around Europe. And so by being part of this NGO, I think that I'm contributing to that. And so, yeah, I think that's what I'm bringing to the table.
Amazing. Yeah, you are bringing also the platform. So we have the ambition, we have the platform, and now we are coming to Débora to conclude that. Please, what are you bringing?
I'm in the same page that Alondra and Beatriz. I can also say that to inspire the young generations and the next entrepreneurs, find your purpose, define what should be your paper in the world. The other day, somebody told me a question that made me think, and the question it was, if Débora Campos died today, what it was be the impact in the world? And at that, when somebody told me that question, I thought, I want to be a person that will be remember as a person that changed the way that we were behaving, and the person was promoting well-being and good health for people, and that includes the environment. So that is the question that I will lead. What would be what would be the world if you die today? Try to leave your brand, your mark in the world.
Thank you. Wow. I have my skin like, wow, really, really strong and powerful messages. And it is all about purpose, as you said, at the end of the day, because each of us, no matter whether in Africa, as we have heard at the opening, or at the other part of the world, I don't know, Australia, each of us is born with purpose and has right to live this purpose. So as my dear friend from the Netherlands, Guido Bram, said a few years ago when we organized our first conference, he said, we are the people we have been waiting for. And I think that your message is showing that actually, yes, here we are, and we only have what we can jointly co-create. So the power is in our hands as well as responsibility. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to everything what is about to emerge from your activities, initiatives, ideas, and we will definitely keep in touch. And thank you for this very inspirational panel. Thank you.